talk about delivering occupational safety and health training through digital platforms. Let us welcome the Division Chief of Occupational Safety and Health Centers Training and Public Information Division, Mr. Herman D. Eser Jr.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share with you the Occupational Safety and Health Center's experience in migrating from the traditional classroom to the online occupational safety and health training. Our sharing will have 4 parts: the paradigm shift, our e-learning experience, the insights gained, and the OSH way forward. Until March 2020, the OSH primarily conducts classroom training at the main office in Quezon City. To serve clients who could not attend the training at the OSH due to distance and time constraints, we also conduct classroom training in regional centers throughout the country. The OSH has been open to the idea of online mandatory OSH training even before the start of the pandemic. In collaboration with the duly accredited Safety and Health Training Organization, or STO for short, the OSH conducted online asynchronous BOSH training from 2011 until 2017. However, only about 2,322 participants availed of the online training during that 6-year period. Back then, our future safety officers prepare attending classroom training over online training. On March 2020, President Rodrigo R. Duterte issued proclamation numbers 922 and 929, declaring public health emergency throughout the Philippines and declaring a state of calamity throughout the Philippines, respectively. On 30 April 2020, the Department of Trade and Industry and the Department of Labor and Employment issued the guidelines on the prevention and control of COVID-19 in workplaces for private establishments allowed to operate under the enhanced community quarantine. Considering the pressing need for more trained safety officers to help in the battle against the pandemic, Executive Director Noel C. Binag directed the OSH Technical Working Group, which is composed of representatives from the Environment Control Division, Health Control Division, Safety Control Division, the Training and Public Information Division, and the Data Control Section, to migrate our training programs from classroom to online. Although working from home because of the lockdown, the TWG members immediately started evaluating the online apps available in the market, revised the classroom training modules and learning materials to tailor fit them for the online setting, and developed the module on COVID-19 prevention and control in the workplace. ED Noel Binag also issued a memorandum to all STOs dated 12 May 2020, which is the guidelines for the interim accreditation to conduct online mandatory OSH training for safety and health officers, occupational health physicians, and occupational health nurses. As a plus count, 58 out of the 88 duly accredited STOs are already granted interim accreditation to conduct online mandatory OSH training. The process of developing the OSH online training may be broken down into 3 phases. The TWG started with research and planning to identify the best features of classroom training, the best features of online training, and how we can harness them for effective delivery of OSH training. It also involves evaluating the different webinar apps available in the market to determine which ones best suit our objectives. Module development includes revisiting our existing modules and identifying appropriate strategies to deliver the key learning points to our online learners. Before the initial public offering, pilot runs were also conducted to provide training personnel the experience as well as to evaluate the effectiveness of the training. For mandatory OSH training, the OSH prepares live webinar because it allows real-time interaction between the resource persons and the participants. That feature is also very useful, especially during group workshops. What are the advantages of online over classroom training? One is accessibility. Participants from throughout the country may attend the training being hosted in Quezon City. Participants from Zamboanga City may attend the training being hosted by the OSH Regional Extension Unit 2 in Tuguegarao City. Even overseas Filipino workers currently based abroad may attend our training. Another is low cost. Our only major expense is the subscription fee for webinar apps because we have in-house resource persons. The cost is so low that we now offer our training free of registration fees for workers in the government sector, micro, small, and financially distressed private establishments. And of course, it is safer for our participants and resource persons. Let us also look at the key challenges being encountered by the OSH in the conduct of online mandatory OSH training. First is an stable internet connection. Our training managers ensure that each prospective participant has at least 3 Mbps internet connectivity before approval of registration. The problem is we do not know when the service will be interrupted for the participants and the training managers. For the OSH training managers, we resorted to having off-site or offshore co-administrators. In case of connectivity problems at the OSH office in Quezon City, the co-administrators working from home may temporarily take over as training managers. For the participants, however, we require them to attend the missed modules on the next training batch to catch up and complete the training. Another is electric power supply. For training managers, this is also addressed by having co-administrators from other locations. Third is availability of proper devices. Our training participants are required to use laptop or desktop computers because mobile phones and tablets are not effective for virtual workshops. Unfortunately, many participants from the micro and small enterprises do not have laptop and desktop computers. Monitoring the participants is another concern because we want to ensure that we issue certificates of completion only for the properly trained participants. We must ensure that the participants attend each session and participate in the group workshops. Last but not the least is online fatigue. Although resource persons are in front of their computers for 1 to 2 hours at a time only, the participants are sitting in front of their computers for longer hours. Although we encourage them to stand and stretch frequently, we must acknowledge and find ways to address the ergonomic issues. Our live webinar OSH training are not fully synchronous. Participants are also given some tasks that they may perform at their prepared time. On the other hand, some of our advanced or specialized training, such as the online managing emerging health issues, work-relatedness of diseases, ergonomics in the workplace, and drug assessment team training are already blended or hybrid. Since many of the participants are newbies to the online learning roadmap, many of the participants are not familiar with apps such as Zoom and Google Classroom. Without the assistance of training facilitators, They have difficulties in accessing the learning materials. Regarding the number of mandatory OSH training conducted, please let me share with you what we have accomplished. From January to August 2021, we have conducted a total of 402 batches with 16,967 participants from 12,585 companies. Aside from the pre-advanced training and mandatory training for safety officers 2, which are being conducted in Quezon City, the OSHC also simultaneously conducts 15 batches of pre-training for safety officers 1 weekly through the regional extension units. May I emphasize, however, that we prioritize the target participants from the public sector as well as micro, small, and financially challenged enterprises for our free training. From January to August 2021, on the other hand, the STOs conducted 1,290 batches of online mandatory OSH training as compared to only 126 batches of face-to-face training. Regarding the quality of our online mandatory OSH training, let me give you a glimpse of the feedback from our participants. I would like to point out that these data are derived from the overall evaluation of OSHC conducted BOSS SO2. We simply randomly picked 5 batches of face-to-face BOSS in 2019 and 5 batches of online BOSS SO2 conducted in 2021. The data show that the satisfaction levels of the participants for the OSHC conducted online BOSS SO2 training are higher than the face-to-face training. We can also see that the program design and organization, course content, and administrative support rank high in the client's evaluation. After running statistical tests, however, we found no significant difference in the satisfaction levels of the online and classroom participants. Let me share with you some of the feedback from our participants. They appreciate the training design, the expertise of our resource persons, the interactive activities, and our workshops. Among the most common complaints of the participants, on the other hand, are unstable internet connection and being in front of the computer for long hours. And these are some of the most common suggestions for improvement. Add more quick breaks in between sessions or ergonomic breaks. Have a chat group to address technical difficulties immediately. Reduce the number of group members for workshops to enable participants actively participate in group discussions. The numerous training previously attended by OSH personnel are primarily designed for the development and conduct of classroom training programs. Retooling for the OSH personnel is very much needed. We need to develop tools to measure the participants' learning, the effectiveness of resource persons, and the value of the entire training. We also observe that the group and individual tasks are very important for the participants' fruitful learning experience. Not all of our participants are tech savvy, and many have difficulties in navigating online platforms. Thus, the virtual classroom interface must be as user-friendly as possible. Video instruction materials on how to navigate the apps being used, such as Zoom and Google Classroom, are of great value as it relieves our resource persons and facilitators from giving directions repeatedly. Integrating third-party learning apps such as Slido, Mentimeter, and Kahoot also help enhance the virtual classroom experience. The more varied the methodologies, the more engaging for the participants. Thus, at the OSH, for instance, animations and graphics are used to explain key learning points in construction, occupational safety and health training. Tailor-fitted workshop videos are used for industry-focused WOS, while advanced industrial hygiene courses and occupational health courses use online quizzes and exams to assess and reinforce learning. Incorporating different structured learning exercises within synchronous online lectures also help refresh participants, engaging them through multiple touchpoints and breaking the monotony of lecture discussions. Synchronous, asynchronous, and hybrid or blended training have their own advantages and disadvantages. Each may be used to cater to different target participants. OSHE is now leaning towards blended learning approach, which would push us to be more creative in developing materials that participants would find more exciting and appealing. Online training also means more interactive digital learning content. The OSHE is committed to ensuring that the OS materials are updated, complete, and accurate. The OSHE e-learning infrastructure is now underway with bigger investment in IT cloud storage and support, security, and e-learning technology. We are looking forward to a fully operational OSHE Learning Academy. We intend to enhance our OS training techniques and methodologies, have a one-stop shop for OSHE training activity planning and delivery, provide platform where training participants can access the training modules online, and utilize all potential training methods such as instructor-led, self-paced, and blended. It is expected that in the very near future, our training participants will experience more efficient, more effective, and more joyful learning journey. With the OSHE Learning Academy, we will harness the technology to make OS education accessible anytime and anywhere. We will be able to train more, reach more, and make training responsive to existing and emerging OS issues. Thank you very much and good afternoon to all of you. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Mr. Eser. To lead us in the open forum, let us welcome our moderator, the Executive Director of the Institute for Labor Studies, Ma'am Ama Charisma Lobrin Satumba.
With our current situation, people have come to realize the importance of occupational safety and health in the workplace. And it is good to see that the OSHC, TESDA, and ECOP saw the need to be relevant and thus shifted to online platforms in delivering their training services. So now we go to the open forum. Sige, baka pwede pong i-pin na natin ang ating mga speakers. And I encourage our participants to post their questions in the Q&A box. No? Sayang naman po, i-maximize na po natin ang presence ng ating mga representatives at mga renowned speakers from TESDA, OSHC, and ECOP. Okay? As training providers, it is really your provision of OSH trainings despite the pandemic is really laudable. You have the OSHC has shifted through digital platforms, and TESDA has adopted flexible learning to continuously conduct events. No? And you said earlier na you have recognized OSH as one of the 21st century skills, di ba? That is really something, no? So do you think that this online approach to the delivery of training programs is bound to stay, even post-pandemic, no? Or even if it's safe to conduct face-to-face trainings already? And if so, how can you fully maximize this shift and to even sustain this towards a wider reach?
Good afternoon po, Director Satumba. Okay. We at the OSHE believe that online training will stay even after the pandemic, especially for the OSHE, which targets the micro, small, and financially challenged enterprises. Because because of the two main advantages of online training. One is accessibility, and the other is low cost, because compared with classroom training, which involves additional cost on meals and venue, online training is really cost effective, that even the DOLE accredited STOs were able to reduce their registration fees. Thank you very much, ma'am.
So that is actually good news, and both TESDA and OSHC said that there's no going back, no? So there's no turning back, sabi nga ni ED. And Sir Herman is right, no? Yung sinabi mo, mas cost-effective siya. Actually, with the online trainings, but it has become more inclusive, no? Kung dati, limited tayo sa ilan lang tao, but because it's online already, mas maraming participants, no? Pero yung mayroon pa rin kasing burning issue, no? Yung digital divide. Kasi sabi kanina ni ED, isang issue ay yung capacity ng learner, no? Pero yung access naman ay isa ring mahalagang pag-usapan. So, paano kaya natin ma-address yung digital divide, lalo na doon sa mga micro, small enterprises, no? At saka yung mga, siguro yung mga learners natin na hindi pa talaga maalam, no? At walang access, walang infra, wala doon sa kanilang lugar, no? Walang mga wifi. So, paano po kaya nyo i-address yun ng inyong mga organization? Communities, no? So, maganda yung sinabi nyo, blended learning with offline mode. Okay. So, thank you. Sir Herman, kayo po.
Ma'am, there are also stakeholder initiatives that complement or may complement the OSH effort to conduct online training and disseminate post information through the social media. One example of stakeholders initiatives is the ILO program to restart the economy safely. I think one of the components of that program is that the Department of Information and Communication Technology shall provide internet connections in the areas outside of NCR, which is the target for that ILO project. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, Sir Herman. So maganda to, no, that the ILO is helping us, no, reach yung mga the unreached, okay, sectors. So now we go to some questions po. Siguro, Sir Herman, ito po, meron pong question for you, Mr. Edmundo Munchua. For OSH trainings, how do you assess the completeness and competency of safety training organizations and their trainers? How do you assess that participants learned from the training?
Prior to the conduct of the training, the STOs send us their request to conduct training together with the details such as date and the links. Through internet, we have the capability to monitor the conduct of the trainings real time, and also they also send us all the required post-training reports, including the evaluation of the participants. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. So, Edmundo, Mr. Edmundo Munchua, that is your answer from Sir Herman. For Sir Hener, no? From Gemma Domingo, for OH nurses, any OSHC accredited STO can conduct the BOSH for nurses, not necessarily to get the training from OH and AP only. Ano po ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sige.
Yes, ma'am. Aside from that particular DOLE accredited STO offering BOSH for nurses, The UP College of Public Health also offers BOS for nurses. But regarding the other STOs, I think I have to check the updated list of accredited training courses that they offer. Thank you very much po.
So Sir Herma, kayo naman po, kanina na-mention ko doon sa presentation ni Ms. Dang, no, Snyder, meron tayong 88 na STOs. May plans po ba talaga ang OSHC na expand pa yon, na padamihin pa yung accredited safety training organizations natin, given na napakarami na po talaga nating dapat i-cater, no?
Yes ma'am, ang trust po talaga ng OSHC is to encourage more organizations to apply for accreditation as STO. Kasi ideally, the OSHC should be more on monitoring the quality of trainings being conducted by the STOs and not to compete with them in the conduct of training. However, given the situation, we have to, as Secretary Silvestre H. Bello stated earlier, he instructed the OSHC to exponentially increase the number of free training batches to serve prospective participants who do not have the financial capability to spend for registration fees, training registration fees. But for next year, as reflected in our work and financial plan for 2022, the number of trainings will be the number of mandatory occupational safety and health training such as BOS for SO2, BOS for SO1, and construction occupational safety and health training will be greatly reduced. We will just focus on the informal sector and the micro and small but financially challenged establishments. Thank you very much po.
So, malaking bagay po actually yung free free trainings nyo ngayong pandemic, and a lot of yung mga of companies are really appreciated. So, para magiging focus po next year ay informal sector, micro and small and financially challenged. So, the bigger ones, yung mga medium-sized and saka large establishments ay ipapaubayan nyo na sa mga STOs. No?
Yes ma'am, yung po kasi yung idea, that should be, yung po kasi yung ideal, dapat yung mga financially capable establishments, they should avail of the services of accredited STOs. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sir Herman, ito pa para sa inyo. Sabi gano'n ni Julian Corpus, thank you for coming up with these strategies to ensure provision of continuous training despite the threat of the current pandemic crisis. One of the requirements under IRRs of RA 9514 and RA 11058 is the conduct of regular fire drill. At this time, how can organizations comply with this requirement while complying as well with the minimum health protocols mandated by the IATF? Is it possible that OSHC and BFP can collaborate on conduct of a possible digital fire drill for establishments? How can you assist us in this concern? So digital fire drills now, sir, is that possible? Sir, nakamute po kayo? Yan, okay.
Okay. Ma'am, I think we have to check that with the Bureau of Fire and Bureau of Fire Protection if they allow virtual fire drill. But for the other drills such as the disaster preparedness, the earthquake drills, the NDRRMC already made some adjustments. We are no longer required to go out of the building because of the minimum safety and health protocols. We are no longer required to go out of the building and assemble at the at the meeting area to avoid or to ensure that the safety and health protocols are maintained. Thank you very much po.
So kanina po doon sa mga presentations, actually for the three speakers, I noticed na you give premium to mental health. Mental health, okay? Mental health in the workplace as part of OSH. Yan ang isa sa pinakamahalaga at parang talagang kailangan i-emphasize ngayon kung dati ay hindi siya masyadong na-emphasize, no? Pero pag nagko-conduct po ng mental health, as part of the curriculum, ano yung key message na binibigay nyo sa ating participants? Sir Herman?
Like Sir David po, I'm not really involved in the discussion of the module on mental health. But during the development of the module on mental health in the workplace, one of our identified objectives is to explain the provisions of the DOLE-DO on mental health in the workplace. So definitely, our resource persons explain the provisions and how to comply with the provisions of the DOLE-DO on mental health. Thank you very much po.
So, thank you. For Sir Herman, actually, medyo nasagot mo na to kanina, Sir Herman, kasi tanong ni Ruel Felipe Ruiz, no? Considering the striking impact of the enumerated challenges and disadvantages to a successful delivery of a training program, would OSHC consider passing the execution of e-class or online training to highly qualified and accredited training organizations so that it can focus on its mandate to regulate and audit TOs rather than competing with them, as well as putting more efforts and investment to improve training contents, methods, certifications, oversight, and arrangements to maintain a holistic and exclusive protection. So basically, may dadagdag po ba kay Sir Herman? Pero kanina na-mention niya na yan that we will be focusing on micro, small, and financially challenged organizations and the informal sector.
Yes, ma'am. Siguro po, I would like to assure Engineer Ruiz that we are geared towards that direction for next year. By the way, Engineer Ruiz is a good friend of ours. He used to work with the Bureau of Working Conditions.
So, okay, thank you very much. So siguro po kasi parang 45 minutes, I took 45 minutes of your time already. Napakatagal at napaka-interesting ng ating open forum, no? Siguro po one final, as we close this session, may I request for a final message from both of you. Kung may gusto po ba kayo idagdag relative dun sa ating class, no? Sabi nyo kanina kasi there's no turning back, definitely. Pagtutuloy-tuloy na yung ating yung use of online platforms for training, and we are focusing on certain sectors, no, so that we address yung digital divide, no. So any more messages that you'd like to say to the participants? Sir Herman, pwede po kayo mauna?
Okay, thank you very much po. To our stakeholders, rest assured that we will continue delivering not only training, not only information dissemination, but we are ready with our technical services that we offer to our stakeholders. Please follow us on FB, Twitter, and frequently visit our website for the announcement on our forthcoming trainings, mini webinars, and other related activities. Thank you very much po.